Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the different levels of eventing and a bit of the progression that goes along with the levels of eventing. But I can't talk about the levels of eventing before I mention two of the organizations that are closely associated with the eventing world, those being the USEA and the USEF.
What the heck is a USEF?
First up, we have the USEF, or the United States Equestrian Federation, which is the umbrella that serves as the national governing body of all equestrian sports. So everything from low levels to the Olympic Games. And it includes leisure riders, coaches, fans, competitors, and everybody in between. And it's not exclusive to just eventing. So you have dressage, it's show jumping, vaulting, Western pleasure, driving, and many more. They also train, select, and fund our U.S. equestrian team, so for the Olympic Games. As stated on their website, the USEF is dedicated to uniting the equestrian community, honoring achievement, and serving as guardians of equestrian sports. The U.S. Equestrian has been dedicated to pursuing excellence and promoting growth, all while providing and maintaining a safe and level playing field for both equine and human athletes. Next up, we have the USEA, or the United States Eventing Association, and it's one of the many organizations that you can put underneath the umbrella of the USEF. The USEA aims to advance the sport of eventing through education of the riders, officials, trainers, and organizers, with the health and the well-being of the horse of most importance. And they recognize more than 250 events that host nearly 42,000 entries per year. And they strive to provide riders from beginner novice to the 5-star level with an exceptional eventing experience. And for more information concerning the USEA or the USEF, go check out their website. I will put their links below so you can do some more exploring if you'd like to. But for now, let's start getting into these levels of eventing. So in eventing, the USEF recognizes 7 national levels of competition: beginner novice, novice, training, modified, preliminary, intermediate, and advanced. And there are 5 levels of international competition that are under the jurisdiction of FEI. And these are designated by stars. So you've got 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, and 5 star. And these are related to the national levels of eventing. So beginner, novice, novice, and training are going to be considered your lower levels of eventing, while prelim, intermediate, advanced are going to be your upper levels, and modified kind of bridges the two together. As a general rule, as you increase your level, the difficulty is going to increase. So in dressage, your movements are going to get more difficult, along with the proficiency of how well that movement is actually executed. And in show jumping and cross country, your heights and your widths are going to increase, along with speeds required and ever increasing levels of technicality. For example, at beginner novice, you may be simply asked to ride your horse through the water, whereas at advanced, you may see something like this. Now, this is completely different sides of the spectrum, but you kind of see where my point is going. The levels are meant to act as a nice progression to give you and your horse plenty of time to practice, and practice some more before you decide to go out and compete. The beginner novice level is designed to introduce young, green, newbie horses and or riders to horse trials. The entire experience should be safe, inviting, fun, and educational to help build confidence in both horse and riders. So there's going to be nothing tricky here. It should be simple and very straightforward. You can expect to see things like up and down banks, going through the water, maybe a baby ditch, but no sharp turns. This level should allow you to see every obstacle very far in advance. So here we have a small chart showing some of the specifications for cross country at beginner novice. So for distances, about 1,400, 2,000 meters, or about 0.8 to 1.2 miles. You've got your average speeds here. Now, speed faults only apply to beginner novice, novice, and training level horse trials. You can get speed faults for going too fast on cross country. This really just helps to prevent injury to horse, rider, and to deter any dangerous or uncontrolled riding that could occur. Below you have your efforts, which is about how many jumps you have on course. Your max height is going to refer to the solid part of the jump. So your jumps can be about 2'7" tall. And the height of the brush can be higher than the solid part. So you can see about 3 foot is going to be the highest part of the brush, which your horse should be able to brush their legs through. The spread is going to be the width. Max width at beginner novice is 2'9", but that refers to the top of the jump. You can see below that the base can be about 4 foot wide. And your drops are going to refer to your down banks. So at beginner novice, you can have a max down bank of 3'3". Just as an add-in, you and your horse should have prior experience schooling in all 3 disciplines off property somewhere before you compete. So little jumper shows and dressage shows, or schooling at somebody else's cross-country course would be most beneficial. That way you're most prepped to tackle the course and the atmosphere that comes with a show day. The novice level is a continuing introduction to horse trials. It's for horse and rider combinations with a little bit of experience, or for, say, an experienced rider and a green horse. Novice, you're going to see a lot of things very similar to beginner novice. It's still going to be very welcoming and very straightforward. I like to think of novice as more of a beefed up beginner novice. I really think you're just going to see a lot of the differences in the heights and the widths of the jumps. But certain things that might be slightly different, maybe after an up bank you have, a few strides later you'll have another jump. Or before or after you leave the water, you may have a jump right after that. But you'll still have plenty of time before and after the jumps to, let's say, enter the water or leave the water before you have to jump the obstacle. Here we have the stats for novice. You can see the distance is 1,600 to 2,200 meters, or about 1 to 1.3 miles. Your max height here is 2'11", with the height of your brush at 3'7", and your width is going to be 3'3", with your max drop at 3'11". Moving on to training level. At training, you will start to see more related distances. Related distances are 2 or more obstacles with a certain distance between them, meant to be jumped within a certain amount of strides. So you as the rider have to make sure that you figure out how many strides are in between the obstacles, and it's your job to make sure that the horse does them in whatever strides you need them to. At training level, you're going to start to see increasing difficulty in the type of jumps you're going to jump. So you could start seeing jumps that are in the water, jumping into the water, down a bank, or up a bank out of the water, skinnies, chevrons, small open corners, along with angled fences, baby coffins. You could also see double steps up or down, and you're definitely going to see more related distances. Here at the chart for training, you can see that the distance is roughly 1.2, 1.6 miles. Your effort's 20 to 24. Your max height is going to be 3'3", width with 3'11", and your drops at 4'7". Here I like to note that beginner novice, novice, and training don't have requirements to compete at the level. However, moving on here to modified through advanced, each of those levels you have to qualify in order to compete at those levels. So if you'd like, I can talk about MERs, or the minimum eligible requirements, in another video. If you would like that broken down, just let me know below and I can see what I can do. But all right, moving on. The modified level is for the training horse or rider that would like to potentially progress to a prelim level or to compete in the equivalent of the CCI 1-star event. The modified level actually used to not exist, but the difference between training and prelim was so large that they wanted to encourage more participation and increase the development of both horse and rider's ability and confidence. In modified, you're going to see larger jumps, much more technicality, probably ABC combinations, and increased height, definitely. You can check out the distance there. Your max height is going to be 3'5", and your width is going to be 4'3", with your drops starting to get 4'11". Next up, we have preliminary level, or prelim. This level examines horse and rider and can prepare them for international CCI 2-star events. This is where stuff starts to get real serious here. You will start to see large drops into the water over logs. Obstacles can now be set on a bounce distance. Your placements of the jumps can start to become more difficult. They can be set more in the shadows or on steeper bending lines, placed on top of a hill or down a hill, or around the corners, and you'll start to see a lot more ABC combinations. Here at the prelim level, you can see the distance is increasing to almost close to 2 miles. Your height is going to be 3'7", along with your width at 4'7", and your drops are now at 5'3". Next up, we have intermediate level. Intermediate can prepare a horse and rider for 3-star events. Here you will definitely start to see an increase in technical difficulty. You will start to see more than one question to be solved in a combination. So now you can have A, B, C, or D combinations to be answered in sequence, along with increased speeds, heights, and overall intimidation. Here is a look at the chart for the intermediate. Ones to note would be obviously the height at 3'9", your width at 5'3", but also you can start looking at the base and how much that is starting to increase as well, along with your drops. And last but certainly not least, we have the advanced level. Advanced is the highest national level of horse trials, and it can be used to prepare horse and rider for the international CCI 4 stars and the 5 stars. The advanced level is the ultimate test of scope and boldness, bravery, and you combine that with technicality and maxed out speeds, it is something to watch. It is absolutely amazing to watch these riders go around these courses with these absolutely amazing horses. Here you will see huge drops into the water, massive open oxers, huge tables, large ditching walls, and everything in between. And last but not least, here we have the advanced level, which is a bit over 2 miles here, 2 to 2.5 miles. Your efforts, which can be jumps 32 to 40 or so. Your max height is going to be 3'11", max width at 5'11", and you start looking at those bases. Those tables start looking real massive, with your drops around 6'7" now. Here I would just like to say that the CCI 5-star events is the highest international event held worldwide, and there are only 7 of these 5-star events held in the world. So you have Burghley and Badminton in the UK, Le Moulin in Germany, Pau in France, Adelaide in Australia, and our own Land Rover, Kentucky, and our newly minted Maryland 5-star in the US. Thank you guys for watching my video. If you enjoyed the levels of eventing, please like and subscribe below. And if you have any questions or comments or would like me to do any other videos, please comment that below and I will get back to you. Thank you guys so much. Be bold and stay sassy.